This presentation is important to everyone because every person has access to knowledge, advice, instruction, and opportunities for growth. Yet, knowledge alone does not produce change. We can read books, attend seminars, listen to powerful messages, study successful people, and learn exactly what we should do. But until we put that knowledge into practice, our lives remain the same. James 1:22 reminds us to become doers and not hearers only, because simply hearing the truth can create the illusion that we're growing when in reality, growth begins only when our actions change. One person may read 100 books and never take the first step, while another person may read only one or two books, apply what was learned, make mistakes, improve, and ultimately achieve meaningful results. This principle applies to our faith, health, finances, relationships, careers, businesses, leadership, and personal development. The purpose of this presentation is not merely to give us more information, but to challenge each of us to identify what we already know, stop waiting for perfect conditions, and begin applying it consistently. The real measure of learning is not how much information we can repeat. It is how much of that information becomes visible in the way we live. Every day we have opportunities to learn something new. We have books, podcasts, videos, seminars, conversations. Knowledge has never been more available than it is today. Yet, despite unlimited access to information, most people never significantly change their lives. Why? Because information alone never transforms anyone. Application does. Today we're going to discover one of the greatest success principles ever written. Don't just become hearers. Become doers. We live in the information age. Millions of books, billions of websites, unlimited videos, and artificial intelligence. Every answer imaginable is available in seconds. Yet, anxiety is increasing, businesses fail, dreams die, families are unhappy, people remain financially stuck. The problem isn't a lack of information. The problem is a lack of implementation. Knowledge becomes valuable only after it changes behavior. James, who was Jesus' half-brother, gives one of the scripture's most practical instructions. Become doers of the word and not hearers only. Notice what it doesn't say. It doesn't say become professional listeners. It doesn't say become experts in collecting information. It says become doers. God has always valued obedience above mere knowledge. Truth only changes lives when truth becomes action. Now imagine two people. The first person reads 100 books. He knows every theory, every strategy, every quote, yet he never starts. Now, the second person reads only 2 books. She learns, she applies, she adjusts, she improves. Now, 5 years later, who succeeds? The one who acted, not the one who merely knew. Knowledge often creates a very dangerous illusion. We mistake understanding for accomplishment. Reading about fitness isn't exercise. Reading about investing isn't investing. Reading about leadership isn't leading. Reading about prayer isn't praying. Reading about kindness isn't being kind. Information creates awareness. Action creates results. Libraries create ideas. Workshops create products. Classrooms teach. principles. Experience develops wisdom. You cannot build a house simply by reading blueprints. Eventually, you'll have to pick up a hammer. Reading adds information. Doing adds experience. Experience builds confidence. Confidence produces better decisions. Better decisions create better results. Results inspire greater action. That's why action compounds much faster than information alone. Failure isn't proof that you should stop. Failure is education. Every mistake teaches something books cannot. Experience has a tuition cost, but it also provides an education impossible to duplicate. Most successful people learn more from trying than from studying. Thomas Edison viewed failure as a tool for learning, famously stating that he did not fail 10,000 times, but rather found 10,000 ways that did not work. Confidence never comes before action. Confidence comes because of action. No one begins as an expert. Every expert was once uncomfortable. Every leader was once uncertain. Every champion was once a beginner. Action creates confidence. Great accomplishments rarely begin with giant steps. They begin with small ones. Read one chapter. Make one phone call. Exercise 15 minutes. Save $20. Pray today. Serve one person. Small actions repeated consistently become extraordinary results. Knowledge tells us what is true. Application proves it. Wisdom comes from living it. Anyone can quote principles. Few people consistently practice them. The difference between average and exceptional is application. Most people stay in preparation mode forever. They wait until they know everything. But successful people know something important. Perfect knowledge never arrives. Eventually, preparation must end. Action must begin. Sometimes we simply have to look in the mirror and ask ourselves, what am I learning that I'm not applying? What action am I avoiding that could change my life? Am I collecting information or creating transformation? Who am I becoming through my daily choices? What truth do I already know that I still haven't applied? What conversation have I been postponing? What opportunity have I delayed? What habit should I begin today? Will I look back in 5 years proud of what I did with what I know today? Sometimes just one decision changes everything. The goal of this presentation isn't simply to give you more information. It's to inspire transformation. Choose one idea. Apply it today. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. Because ideas have potential, but action has power. Knowledge is a gift, but knowledge alone changes nothing. The world is full of people who know what they should do. Far fewer actually do it. The difference between dreams and achievements, between potential and purpose, between hearing and becoming is action. Don't measure your life by how much you've learned. Measure it by how faithfully you've applied what you've learned. Leave today committed not merely to becoming more informed, but to becoming transformed. Because the greatest education is not what enters your mind. It is what changes your life.